Shalom. I'm going to start by giving all the praises, glory, and honor to YAHAWAH, BaHa, YAHWASHI, BaHa, QADASH. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone who rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations unto the hopeful elect tabernacle of David scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. The scriptures say, but unto the wicked, the Most High said, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, that thou should take my covenant in thy mouth, seeing thou hatest instruction, and casteth my words behind thee. And this is how we conclude that the Vatican, the Catholic Church, is indeed the false prophet. Because all you're going to get from the Pope, these bishops, these cardinals, these priests, all you're going to get is a bunch of lies, deceit. Like this here, for an example. So now he's making it known that he's all right with most sexuality. He doesn't condemn it, which, that's to be given because, the scriptures tell you about Esau, that he's a fornicator and a profane person. But this fornicator, this profane person is exalted. He's now took on the role of a prophet, a priest, a bishop, but he doesn't follow none of the instructions, none of the commandments in the book. So it's not a surprise at all that, this devil takes this stance, all right, dealing with the act of, two men or two women. It's in their nature, and he's going to defend it. And if he took any other stance, not only would he have to step down, but he would have to remove a good third or 1/4 of the Catholic organization. They would all have to be removed. They would all have to step down because they get out like that. And not only that, they're into minors. They're into underage children. So if they're not going to be criminalized, then it's no surprise that this particular behavior, would be defended by these same devils. So I'm gonna play the video and let y'all listen to this old demon, and then we'll definitely get the scriptures and condemn everything that's being said. So let's listen real quick.
Somos todos hijos de Dios. Y Dios nos quiere como estamos y con la fuerza que luchamos cada uno por nuestra dignidad. El ser homosexual no es un delito. No es un delito. Sí, pero es pecado. Bueno, primero, distingamos pecado por delito. Pero también es pecado la falta de caridad con el prójimo. ¿Y vos cómo andás? Porque vamos arriba a buscar los libros. La condena de la homosexualidad viene de lejos. Hoy día, por ejemplo, creo que los países que tienen condena legal son más de 50 condenas legales. Y de esto creo que 10 más o menos, o un poquito por ahí, tienen la pena de muerte. No la nombran directamente, pero dicen aquellos que tienen actitudes antinaturales, o sea, buscan decirlo de manera escondida. Pero hay países que tienen esta fuerte tendencia, o al menos culturas que tienen esa fuerte tendencia, ¿no? Creo que es injusto. Acá a la audiencia yo recibo grupos de personas.
So let's start from the beginning. So you can see the Pope, which is, it's a joke, that they're even in this position. But we know that, Esau was given the world, and the scriptures say the wicked walk on every side when the vilest men is exalted. So you got blood drinking, minor attracted person moles that can actually play pope and prophet and priest, and pretty much it's a normal thing. Only under the dominion of these people. But these are supposed to be God-fearing individuals who's supposed to believe in the book, but they don't do nothing the book say, which is why I quoted Psalms 50 and 16. So he starts off by saying we are all children of God. Well, you're not the children of the Most High. You have three classifications. You got, going back to the beginning, you had the children of God, which were the sons of God. Then you had the sons of men, which are the other nations, and you also have the sons of the wicked. He's clearly a son of the wicked because he's clearly an Edomite. All right. And the scriptures tell you about Esau, and Esau would be known as the border of wickedness. And this is the reason why the world is under a wicked, evil vibration, while up under your dominant rulership. This is Malachi 1 verse 2. And it says, I'll start at 1. It says, the burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Saith the Lord. Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. This is why in every place in the world where Esau is in power, you better believe there's laws that protect, men with men, women with women, trans. You better believe that all goes down wherever Esau is at. All right, because Esau is he's an immoral individual. He has no morals. So wherever you find him, it's going to be wickedness there. It says, and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. This is why he's angry with the wicked every day. And they're all being preserved to the day of judgment to be punished. So they're just fulfilling their role. And, the Pope, all these higher up figures within, the Catholic Christian world, these are all just ministers of Satan. Apostle Paul, he mentions how Satan had transformed himself to an angel of light. So of course he has his representatives on the earth as well. All right, and their light is really darkness. We know that darkness is basically wickedness, is sin. And they're telling you that basically wickedness or sin is actually light. Like it's something good. All right, woe to him that called good evil and evil good, that put light for darkness and darkness for light. So that's how you know Satan is ruling in this current world. This is his world. And these Edomites are just his physical counterparts. 2 Corinthians 11 verse 14, it says, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed and to an angel of light. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. All right. So, you're the children of the wicked. All right. And the inheritance of sinners' children shall perish. You all are being reserved until the day of wrath. All right, to be destroyed.
Somos todos hijos de Dios. Y Dios nos quiere como estamos y con la fuerza que...
No, he loves Israel, but he hates you. And I just read it in Malachi, the 1st chapter, which is reiterated by the Apostle Paul when he quoted Malachi. He does not love you, neither does he love abomination. And you're trying to normalize abomination like it's something good. That is just something that people should accept and condone. Did you not even, well, because these devils, man. When you read the epistle of Paul to the church of Rome in the 1st chapter, it tells you he pretty much criminalizes this act. And it even says at the end of the chapter that anybody that love it is also worthy of death. Let's go to Romans 1. And this is this devil trying to change the truth into a lie. All right, is Romans 1 and 21. It says, because that when they knew the Most High, they glorified him not as the Most High. And it's talking about our people. Neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations. Following after these the customs of these heathens. All right, and their foolish heart was darkened. All right, following after these vain customs, worshiping these idols. And we know that according to the scriptures, that the devising of idols is the beginning of spiritual fornication. And your mind become, darkened. You start to commit, foolish, abominable acts, practices. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools and changed the glory of the uncorruptible power into an image made like to corruptible man, into birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things. Wherefore the Most High also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts. And this, it all goes back to idolatry. The roots of these behaviors stem from that idolatrous spirit. Catholicism is idolatry. The word Catholic means universal. All right, it's nothing but pagan worship in Catholicism. That's why they worship the sun. Okay, they keep these pagan holidays, so-called Christmas and Easter, or Ishtar, Ashtoreth. They worship, the Queen of Heaven, fertility goddess, all that stuff. So that's why that unclean spirit is also amongst the Catholic Church as well as the Christian Church. The Christian Church is just fruit that broke away from that tree. It's all corrupt. It says, who change, it's like verse 24 says, wherefore the Most High gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. Okay, gave them over to the lust of their own hearts, their own desires, which comes from within, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. All right, becoming morally impure. It says, who changed the truth of the Most High to a lie, the Catholic Church, did a good job at doing that. All right, even defaced the true power. They covered the face of the ultimate judge. This is what Esau did. So he changed the truth of the Most High to a lie. Said that he was a white man. The son of the Most High is a white man. They put Rodrigo Borgia was the Pope, and he had his son Cesare Borgia to be the image of the son of the Most High, painted by Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci. We all know that history, and the truth was turned into a lie. And worshipped and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this cause, the Most High gave them unto vile affections, and that's literally that's an unclean spirit. He gave you over to vile affections, and that's the spirit that's on these moles. All right, these you know, these dykes. All right, and even these moles who also have a affection for underage boys. And that was a thing going back to ancient Rome and Greece. They was all into pederasty. You know, those Roman Caesars, they was getting down like that. They had their little boy toys. That's a vile affection. It says, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. And we know what that's talking about. You read it in, I get the NIV. It says, because of this, the Most High gave them over to shameful lust. Even their women exchanged natural sexual relations for unnatural ones. All right. Women scissoring each other, all that crazy shit that they be doing, munching each other down. That's not natural. But in a wicked society, it's normal. And it's protected, it's condoned, it's rewarded. This is why this place got to go. And that's why also the Catholic Church, which is the false prophet, is going to go too. All right. He's pretty much telling you that anybody that does this, indulge in this behavior, you're loved by the Most High. You're okay with in the eyes of the Most High. All right. And it goes that in Job, you know, where you speak wickedly for the Most High. Let's see if I can find that real quick. Even doing this lesson alone, you know, standing up for the truth, you know, I'm in jeopardy of getting a strike, getting silenced for telling the truth according to the word of the Most High. Job, is Job 13 verse 7, and it says, "Will you speak wickedly for the Most High and talk deceitfully for Him?" And that's literally what this demonic pope is doing. He's not a representative of the Most High. He represents Satan. That's the God that he's saying loves you. All right. So let me go back to Romans 1 and continue. It says, and likewise also the men leaving the natural use of the woman, burning their lust one toward another. We already know what this is describing. Men with men working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat. All right. And you know what comes with that lifestyle: depression, which is a evil spirit. All right, diseases, deadly diseases, plagues, basically judgment. And even as they did not like to retain the Most High in their knowledge, because it's like the Most High gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of the Most High, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, all right, disobedient to parents. And these things are all heavy in the West. It's just one big cesspool. That's why the Lord's going to level it out. This is without understanding. All right, everybody's ignorant of the Most High and His righteousness. Covenant breakers without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful, who knowing the judgment of the Most High, that they which commit such things are worthy of death. This is what Apostle Paul is saying in his epistle. You commit any of these things, you're worthy of death. Not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. So if you are all right with it, you have pleasure in them that do it, and you're speaking up and defending them, then guess what? You're worthy of death too. So you know the Most High is going to give Vatican, the Pope, the Catholic Church, He's going to give them their issue for sure. Because they're here to spread nothing but wickedness on the earth, along with the beast. All right. And let's get scriptures that show that the Most High hates it. He does not love it. Psalms 5. And I actually I'm gonna start at verse 4. Yeah, Psalms 5 verse 4 says, "For thou art not a God that have pleasure in wickedness, neither shall evil dwell with thee. The foolish shall not stand in thy sight. Thou hatest all workers of iniquity." All right. The Most High don't have pleasure in wickedness. Just because you have pleasure in it, because you indulge in it, and the men up under you, that doesn't mean that the Most High is all right with that. All right. Let me get the Apocrypha real quick. Sirach chapter 12 and verse 6. It says, "For the Most High hateth sinners, and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment." So that's plain into the cut. Christians like to say the opposite of what the scripture just said. He hates the sin but loves the sinner. It's so many statements of error that comes from the Christian church. You could do a series on it. How many things that they say that typical things that come out of Christians' mouth that's clearly contrary to the scriptures. And no wonder why, it's a failing religion and a lot of people are leaving. A lot of churches here are all closing down. Christianity is one big fail, and the Catholic Church. Let's go from there to 15th chapter and I'll start at verse 11. It says, "Say not thou, it is through the Lord that I fell away, for thou oughtest not to do the things that he hateth." So there are things that the Lord hates. All right, and it's gonna tell you, "Say not thou, he have caused me to err, for ye have no need of the sinful man." That's why it's I believe it's in the book of James, where Apostle James, he describes how lust is a temptation that starts from within, and is not something that the Lord tempts you with, because the Lord cannot tempt any man with evil, because he have no need of a sinful man. You got homosexuals that try to put it on the Most High. Well, I was born that way. No, the Lord just gave you over to that unclean spirit because you're a reprobate. All right, James 1:12, it says, "Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of the Most High, for the Most High cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed." All right, you acting off your own urge, which is a burning sensation, a demon that's in you. Then when lust have conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. All right, and that's the recompense of that error, because we know, going back to the law, Leviticus 20 verse 13, and various other precepts, that act is punishable by death, in which Esau does not believe in that. He's telling you it's not a crime. All right, so continuing on, it says, verse 13, it says, "The Lord hateth all abomination, and they that fear the Most High love it not." So he doesn't fear the Most High, or else he would not condone it. He would not be trying to, speak up and defend these people. Okay, so he does not love them. Let me get Wisdom of Solomon 14 real quick. Actually, let me go to Bible Gateway. And this is in the Good News translation. It says, "Ungodly people and these ungodly things, they make are equally hated by the Most High." All right, so yes, the Most High, as long as you're doing these things, the Lord hates you for it. So everything that you hear coming out of this devil's mouth is all a lie. All right, Psalms 52:3. Psalms 52 and verse 2, it says, "Thy tongue deviseth mischiefs like a sharp razor, working deceitfully. Thou lovest evil more than good, and lying rather than to speak righteousness." Allah. And he's lying. He's not speaking righteousness. If he was actually speaking righteousness, he would have to step down. He would get nothing but backlash from the world. It would be uproars. Even from the rainbow that community, they'd all be all over this dude if he spoke the truth. So let me play some more.
Luchamos cada uno por nuestra dignidad. El ser homosexual no es un delito. No es...
You said it's not a crime. So let's look up the word crime. Look up crime. And it says crime, an action or omission that constitutes an offense that may be prosecuted by the state and is punishable by law. We know according to Esau's laws, it's not punishable. It's not a crime according to the wicked. All right, because the wicked, you know, he gives you the license to sin. So sin is not really a crime under his setup. All right, but he'll tax you on some of those things and call it a sin tax. All right, offense, unlawful act. According to the Bible, it's an unlawful act. So it is a crime. Illegal act, misdemeanor, misdeed, wrong. Illegal activities. Down here says an action or activity that, although not illegal, is considered to be evil, shameful, or wrong. Or which something that is evil, shameful, and wrong, it should be illegal under a righteous society. All right, it's an immoral act, sin. So it is a crime. But what do the devil tell you? Oh, it's not a sin. Just like the serpent told Eve, oh, you won't die. The same spirit, man, same serpent. All right, it's wrong. Okay, it's a abomination. Use one of the words right there, abomination. So it is a crime. And guess what? If you guilty of these crimes and you don't repent from it, you will not inherit the kingdom. But you got people in the church that'll welcome them open arms. They'll keep the doors open. Shit, the past couple years, the church been coming out to support these people of that so-called community. They've been allowing them to come into their church. You even got ones that actually lead. You got pastors that are part of that community, man. You got you know, trans that's coming in there and they're grooming children in the church. That should be a serious crime. First Corinthians 6 and verse 9. And it says, know you not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of the Most High. Let's get that in the NLT. And it says, don't you realize that those who do wrong will not inherit the kingdom of the Most High? Don't fool yourselves, those who indulge in sexual sin. All right, which, you know, it's going to go into it. Or who worship idols or commit adultery, that's a sexual sin. Incest is a sexual sin. Or are male prostitutes. You know, these were men who prostitute themselves to other men, all right, for money, or to a idol. You had temple prostitutes. There should not be any sodomite of the children of Israel, or practice homosexuality right here, or are thieves, or greedy people, or drunkards, or are abusive, or cheat people. None of these will inherit the kingdom of the Most High. And that's why the Lord's going to have a lake of fire ready and prepared for them. Because none of that is going to translate into our kingdom of our dear Lord. It's going to be a new heaven and a new earth wherein dwells righteousness. All right, the standard of living is going to be based off of the law, statutes, commandments. That's what's going to govern the world. We ain't going to have no old, crusty, decrepit blood drinking pedophile that calls himself father, all right, that wear you know, beaded necklaces and crosses, you know, dictate how you should be according to God. So according to the definition, it surely is a crime. But we don't expect you to speak the truth because you know your nature won't allow you to. You're the devil. All right, and the false prophet is going to have his place in the lake that burneth with fire and brimstone, the second death. Lord willing, I don't get a strike for this video, but you know I had to definitely chime in. All right, this is you know, this is how you know we at the end of this thing, because wickedness shall be increased, as it is written. So I'm gonna shut it down right there, man. I don't think I need to go any further. All right, y'all heard this devil, so it is what it is. Let me give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. To the next lesson, Shalom.